Picture a World War II hero for me. I'll give you a second. If I had to guess, you're thinking of a man in a uniform fighting in a battle, or a president/prime minister. Raise your hand if I was right. Yes, that's right. Well, that's not quite the hero I'm here to talk to you about today. I'm going to speak about three women named Truus Overstegen, Freddie Overstegen, and Hannie Schaft. They might not fit the typical mold of hero, but after you hear about their story, there won't be any doubt that they are. After hours of researching and writing, I present Hidden Heroes, a speech about the early life of the Overstegen family, the work all three did for the Dutch resistance group, and the sisters' lives after the war. Let's start with home life. There you go. This is pictures of young Freddie and Truus. Freddie and Truus lived in the town of Haarlem, located in the Netherlands during early World War II, according to Becky Little, writer of a piece about the sisters for the History Channel. Can you take the next slide, please? This is a map of the countries that were eventually taken over by the Axis expansion during World War II. As you can see, all the stuff that they will fight for was very important for all the people who couldn't. They were raised by a single mother who enjoyed the ideas of the Communist Party and fighting for justice. The podcast My Favorite Murder covered this story, and according to one of the hosts, Karen Kilgariff, they started to hide Jewish people in their homes even before the war started, as early as 1934. The book, Under Fire, Women in World War II, talks about the different resistance acts the girls started. One such act was defacing German posters. They would get to a sign that was recruiting Dutch men to work in Germany and glue messages like, "Don't go to Germany." For every Dutch man working in Germany, a German man will go to the front. They would then ride away on their bikes. The little stunts like these is what got the interest of the Dutch resistance group. They recruited the Overstegen sisters and another teenage fighter, Hannie Schaft. These women were known for the transportation of Jewish children. While most were able to flee the country, not all missions went well. Truus was particularly haunted by one event when they were caught by a spotlight. Sadly, all but one of the children died in the resulting attack by the Nazis. This information was reported by Kutch and Brandon in the article Remembering a Dutch Partisan for the Jacobson's website. The girls were also known for the destruction of Nazi property. The author Ellis Jonker in the previously mentioned book Under Fire, Women in World War II listed some of these acts. They would place red flags at the NBS headquarters on May 1st and more dangerously blow up railroads between the towns of Ingemen and Haarlem to stop incoming Nazis. This is a map of the railroads in World War II Netherlands, and you can see where it would be important to blow up some of the railroads so that the Nazis couldn't go and transport goods and soldiers across the country. Harrison Smith, the author of Freddie Overstegen, a Dutch resistance fighter who killed Nazis through seduction, dies at 92, told about their time in taverns. After getting dolled up, the women would go into bars to seduce Nazis. Once under their spell, these men would go to a stroll in the woods. What they didn't realize is that they were coming to die. For when they got into the forest, they were liquidated. They would never reveal how many Nazis they killed or the exact plans of the liquidations, preferring to keep those details to themselves. Unfortunately, Hannie was never able to see the end of the war. She was executed 18 days before the Netherlands was liberated. She had gained a reputation as the dangerous red-headed girl and was caught at a Nazi checkpoint, according to Naomi O'Leary. Her memory still lives on, and she is known as a Dutch hero. Let's see how the Overstegen sisters lived their lives post-war. Freddie went on to live a domestic life. The writing Her War Never Stopped, the Dutch teenager who resisted the Nazis by Naomi O'Leary says she married Jan Dieker, who was an engineer at a steel factory. He and her 3 children was the destruction that she needed from the memories. Truus became a sculptor in her later years. She was also known for giving speeches and interviews about her time in the resistance. I got this information from the History.com article, This Teenager Killed Nazis with Her Sister During World War II. The stories were not honored for their work until later in their lives. The story was mostly silent until 2014. This is when they received an honor from the Dutch military called the Mobilization Cross. They have both now passed on, with Truus in 2016 and Freddie following her in 2018. There is so much more to learn about these girls. While I covered the early life of the Overstegen family, the work they did for the Dutch resistance group, and their lives after the war, I would recommend to do more research if their lives have inspired you. The life we live now is what these women fought for. If we could go back to when they were girls and tell them what life is like today, I think they would be so proud of the actions that they took, they would believe that what they were fighting for was truly worth something. End.